So I just wanted to speak on the passing of Daisy Berkowitz, um, the ex Marilyn Manson guitar player, whose real name was Scott Mitchell, and I'm hoping I'm getting the last name right. Puteski? Puteski? I'm really bad with names, so I apologize. So anyways, Daisy Berkowitz, who wasn't Marilyn Manson's first guitar player, actually. Portrait of American Family, I think Sarah Lee Lucas was the first one, and then Daisy Berkowitz came in. He also has other acts that he had been affiliated with, like Jack Off Jill and whatnot, who was all really close in the music scene down in Florida, where they were based out of. The reason why I actually decided to make this video is because I was actually kind of taken back with how much I am surprisingly affected by his passing, for two reasons that I can think of. One is the fact that, he was so young. He passed away. He was only 49. Like, 49. That's crazy, man. This dude's only like 15 some years older than me. He passed away due to colon cancer, but I'm going to keep this video upbeat and positive. But the other reason why I was so taken back was when I was younger, Marilyn Manson played a really big role, his music anyways, played a really big role in my life. The thing that really stuck the most with me, not only about Marilyn Manson, but any music in general, is the depth that music can really go and get down to. And that, for me, is like melodic songs, melodies. Because anybody can make a catchy tune like the beautiful people, it's just really catchy, really poppy, can be played, and I'm not saying that isn't a great song, and I'm not saying I don't like those types of songs, but songs like, so for instance, Coma White is my favorite all-time song from Marilyn Manson. It will always be my all-time favorite song from Marilyn Manson, and even though it was, they made a video, it was on MTV, it was a pretty big hit. To me, that was like the song. So songs like The Man You Fear, Scott actually wrote and recorded The Man You Fear, that was on the album that made Marilyn Manson a household name, Antichrist Superstar. Which, quick funny little story about Antichrist Superstar. I won it when the CD came out, and this is the original CD that came out over 20 years ago, 1996. It's kind of beat up, but I kept it in pretty good shape, considering my kids destroy just about everything else that we get. I mean, we'll buy a movie and it'll be demolished within a week or two. But this I've had for over 20 years. Actually, I think next month, because I think Antichrist came out late October, early November, somewhere around this time of year. So it's been 21 years that I've had this, and I really don't think that without this album, Marilyn Manson would be who he is today, a household name. I mean, he probably would be pretty successful, as he is a very driven person, but I don't know. And I know Scott played a big role in, writing and playing, and he wrote and played on Tourniquet, which was a huge hit for this album, as well as Man You Fear, which, like I said, Man You Fear, those type of melodies, those singing songs, those really intimate type stuff, which, believe it or not, Marilyn Manson actually said he was trying to go for a poppier sounding album when he went in to record Antichrist Superstar. And he came up with Antichrist Superstar. Sometimes that happens. I go to write something really awesome and beautiful, and then I come out with the heaviest track I've ever made. So, but as a musician, this has played a huge role in my everyday life. I mean, if you listen to any music or song I've ever done, you'll definitely hear Marilyn Manson type style, sound, writing, whatever, like, it's just really, really big. I was really big into that, and it played a really big role in my life. And I think Daisy Berkowitz opened the door for playing a lot of those, like, melodic type songs like The Man You Fear. If you go to Marilyn Manson's Instagram page yesterday when he passed away. Marilyn Manson stated that their favorite song was Man You Fear, and go listen to it and pay your respects to Scott. So, and it really sucks that he's gone. I really feel that, to be completely honest with you, he's not probably gonna get the respect he really deserves. If Marilyn Manson was to pass away, I mean, it'd be just a huge, it'd be a big deal where, Scott passed away, and even though he's not Marilyn Manson and wasn't cutting his chest open with broken wine bottles, he was still a really big factor in the DNA that was this machine known as Marilyn Manson. And, I just don't think that I would, know and be so affected. I mean, by what I consider good, real music. When I was growing up, real music was made by people that were in pain and suffered or hated shit and, was angry or really happy, it could be all the emotions. But at least it was written by real musicians. If you go in there in the fold out and you look at the song titles, you'll see underneath the tracks, who writes the songs. And Man You Fear, Daisy Berkowitz is in there. This is somebody that wrote and was a part of the group. Unlike today, you got a lot of musicians who I won't drop any names or say anything like that, but the majority of musicians these days are, I think, cherry-picked to look a certain way, sound a certain way, be a certain way, or just be really good at taking orders and told what the fuck to do, And then you got a lot of people, the laundry list of writers that write the music for them because that's what they feel is going to sell, So there's a lot of bullshit controversy there. I'm not going to get too far into that. It's just because I don't want to take away from this being about Scott. But, I just think that, it really sucks. I really want to kind of, I guess the message behind what I'm trying to say here is music, the genre, this entity that is music, you see the memes like life without music, would suck and all this other stuff, and I'm sure there's a million different ones. But I don't think musicians, and it could be due to industry, it could be due to musicians that, they're over-talented and they look great, but they have no message, you know what I mean? So who knows what the actual reason it is, but music these days I feel is falling short to how I feel like when I grew up, like, all musicians were like amazing. Even music I really didn't care for, they had a message, they were speaking for the most part. And, I got sent an article that like electric guitar sales are like way down. Nobody wants an electric guitar anymore. Nobody wants to start a band. Everything's done in the box. If you're not a musician, the term "in the box" means somebody records everything into their computer, the box, and it's processed, recorded, it's done up. Bells and whistles are thrown on their songs and sprinkled with magic dust, and then they hope that they're going to be a famous musician. So, and people are also using cell phones and all this other crazy stuff now. So, which is cool. I'm not downing that. I definitely use a lot of that stuff myself. But, it's so easy that everybody can just make a fucking album. You know what I mean? And it's like, it cheapens the quality, like the American dollar. We keep borrowing money and printing shit up, and it just plummets the actual value. It's just a piece of paper, we're killing ourselves and being slaves to the rat race over something that literally grows on trees. It is fucking, paper is made from fucking trees, and ink is poison, so when you touch it, it's all just inky, shitty, fucking, we're just killing ourselves while we're killing ourselves to continue killing ourselves. So you work so hard to have a life that you can't enjoy because you're busy killing yourself to get the life that you think that you deserve or dream of. And a lot of it's kind of poetic, and a lot of it's kind of sad, and and I think that's what drove me to be a musician, discuss these concepts and these topics, and I just feel like a lot of that is either cheapened or doesn't exist anymore, you know. Maybe it's all in my head, I don't know. Maybe there's other people out there that agree with me. But either way, I feel this is another blow to good music and real musicians. You know, we had Tom Petty. You know, Tom Petty was a real fucking musician. He was a musician's musician and did not take shit. He literally had to go to one of his bandmates. If you watch the Tom Petty documentary, it's like 4 hours long on Netflix, and I watched every fucking minute, and that was a great documentary. I can't sit still for fucking 30 seconds, let alone watch a 4-hour documentary, but I watched it, and Tom Petty at one point had to go to, I think, his guitar player and his dad, and talk him into letting his son not go to college. And I guess he was this kid's dad was a big intimidating judge in Florida, and Tom Petty had to talk, you know, to him about, hey, I'm gonna take your son, we're gonna go be famous, rock stars, you know, whatever, no big deal. And you know, the rest is history. You know, he did it, and you know, and now Tom Petty's gone. You know, Lemmy died, David Bowie, a lot of great musicians, man. It's just crazy, you know. So I guess the moral of the story is, you know, enjoy what you have while you have it. Don't take anything for granted, including music, because music is so beautiful, and I think without it, I mean, music saved my life. So I'm going to cut it short here, and I'm just going to say, go listen to something you enjoy. It doesn't have to be Marilyn Manson, but if you like something, if you enjoy a beautiful piece of music, regardless if it's classical or rock or metal or hip-hop, go and enjoy it. If it's a real artist and you believe in that message and what they're saying, and you could feel it in your fucking soul and heart, then just enjoy it today, because you never know when you won't be able to do that anymore. So, hope everyone has a blessed day. Enjoy, and I'll talk to you soon.
Fight the battle that you know you can win. With the devil in your pocket, you're carrying round sin. With the demons on your back and the skeletons in your closet, you don't have a fucking prayer, and if you did, you just lost it. It's easy in this life to turn the wrong way, but if your soul ain't strong enough, we'll see another day. A worthy life ain't living unless it's living right. Now get the fuck out there and continue the fight. This is a joke.